Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everyone?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Happy to be here. How you doing, Scott? Oh, Scott, you're muted, buddy. I knew it got too quiet. It was too quiet in here. I'm like, what's going on?
What's happening, good, guys?
All right.
Episode 16, Rolling Thunder. We made it. We've got a special guest tonight, CigarJoe. We got Andy with me as always. We made it. We're supposed to have another guest, Joel Sparky, in a little bit. He's running a little bit behind, but he's going to join in late. So we figured we'd do the first half of the show or so, just talking about some old school car audio, maybe some setups we want to do, and going from there. But we'll go ahead and kick it off, man. But did you guys have a good week? Thank goodness it's Friday, man. It's been a long work week for me.
Yeah, you're telling me my week's been very eventful. Time to relax. Not tomorrow. Hopefully Sunday if I don't go to the Mecha show. So we'll see. Got my show tomorrow. Got that all set up. So yep. Been crazy, you know. What's going on, Acoustical Art? 14.4 volt talk in the chat already. What's up, 25?
We've taken and I've got to be at Joe's house at like 7:15 in the morning. We've got to roll.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, because it's not a big deal. And then we got a 2-hour drive to like South Georgia, and we're gonna meet up and go to a show. Hopefully, it'll be a good time and get a show off. And we're gonna give lots of demos.
Nice.
What's happening? 25 hertz. How big is your pleasure to me?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say you have to tell me more about your little clip light on your amplifiers. I seen that on Facebook. I need to know more later.
On the clip limiter stuff, I got you, bro. Yeah. How big is your show gonna be tomorrow, man? You guys got a lot of people attending. You guys doing the metering tomorrow, or what? You doing judging or?
Oh yeah, we're doing it all. The average Team SP Loud. We added 2 more classes this year. We added a trunk class, and now we have a rookie class for anyone that has never competed before. And that's especially good for the people that are like the stereo shop customers. They don't know what they're doing, but they want to learn more. So yeah, we'll probably have anywhere from 25 to 35 cars in the lane, and it'll be a blast for sure.
That's wicked,
That's pretty
man.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I like the beginner one. Like, hey, you got 4 passes. We're gonna do your first one, your sweep. Here we go. Let's get you the test tone going, and then I bet you it gets a lot of them hooked, man. That's a good way to get people going.
Absolutely. I want it to be like the breeding ground for Mecha, NADBL, all the other bigger stuff. So, whenever you go to the bigger lanes, you're paying big money. You don't want to mess up and you don't want to waste your time. Come out to Team SP Loud. It's half the price. And, hey, you can have all the time you want in the lane to figure out what you're doing like you're in your backyard. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, yeah. And Joe's been there.
Are you putting them on their music, or are you letting them play something you're bringing?
They can play whatever they want. Sometimes they actually use my music for like the Park and Pound. We call it Music Monster. I have like 6-minute tracks, but ours is a 30-second average like the Park and Pound. And it's specific frequencies. Because a lot of people, you know what I mean, are like, this sounds good in my car. If you want to play that, go ahead. And then on your next run, if you want to run again, I got something that might be a little bit louder for you. That's a consistent frequency. Call it cheating, but that's how the guys do it. So, and that's on my YouTube, of course, just so it's easy access, don't need USB drives, all that fancy stuff. You know what I mean?
Those are good beats too, man. I played those a couple times now. They're on your YouTube under, I think you have a playlist just for those beats. And it's different frequencies you got, and they're pretty cool.
Heck yeah. That's pretty cool. I got it off a guy that had it on Dropbox, but you know what I mean? Not everybody has Dropbox on their phone. Everybody's got YouTube. Boom. Search it. Got it. Andy, you a judge? Yes, I guess you could call it Team SP Loud judge, but I am a certified Mecha judge too. I'm pretty much the backup one now. I was the head guy, but I didn't want to travel, and I got so many other things going on, but long story short, they didn't do too much traveling anyway, but you know what, it was some weight off my back. But next year, I'll definitely be doing more shows, possibly, at the Team SP Loud shows. If all goes to plan, I got some things in the bag coming, talking to my boy Russell. He works with SPL Lab, and trying to work some things with Mecha. That would be cool. And heck yeah, dude. It's fun.
That would be wicked. We got one guy that's got my computer set up here. It's alright. My computer, I play some computer games, not so much. I mean, it's a glorified like battle station, really. I built this computer in 2017. And I can play most new stuff, but I play decade-old games that nobody cares about anymore anyway.
How many megabytes of RAM do you got? That's what I want to know.
32. 32 gigs, sorry, 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, that's a lot. My computer has the same amount as my phone does. You know what I mean? It's crazy how far
what I did
things
at the
come.
time was okay. So I have like I'm about due for a graphics card update really, because like my processor still holds up pretty well. But I wanted to build like a super high end build in 2017. That translates to where it's like halfway still okay in 2021. I mean, I didn't waste my money, so I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I started out with like I'm gonna do it just like anything else, like car audio or anything. I was like, I'm gonna do a $500 budget. The next thing I know was $2,000.
That's
But
crazy. And especially with technology, everything becomes obsolete the next year almost. It's really hard to keep up with stuff like that.
knock on wood. I mean, it's just like anything else. You buy nice stuff. I've literally had zero failures. I mean, there's a few things I would have done differently now doing it again. But I mean, like, it's been reliable, man. I'm gonna put a new graphics card in and keep on trucking. It's been really nice. I'm really glad that I did the graphics card stuff now. I'm not even playing games anymore. It's the more to do my graphic design stuff. Because believe it or not, some of that editing stuff takes some horsepower.
I believe it, dude. A lot of processing. I know my laptop has a hard time playing The Sims. You know what I mean? I feel you.
That's the reason a lot of people don't realize, like, especially like the YouTube stuff. Like, if you had a graphics card and stuff like that, just a dedicated computer. We dropped Joe.
Oh no.
It's fine. He'll pop back in. Probably switch it to his phone.
Yeah.
But if you had a dedicated graphics card, you would render your video in quite a few things probably a lot faster because right now you're doing your strain on it trying to do the whole workload and do the stuff for your hard drive and all that. We lost you, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Man, you're making me feel like the guys I talk to when I start talking subwoofers. They're like, you speaking Japanese or something? I'm like, yeah, not really. It's pretty simple, but
Touche.
that's cool. Heck yeah, man. So with the old school builds and future builds, I mean, I kind of got an idea of what I'm going to do whenever the L7X does come out.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to do two 12s on the two CX 1800.1s. Wire them at 1 ohm, get the dual 2s, one on each amp. I think that'll be a nice daily setup for her. I'm contemplating on sealed or ported, depending how much airspace I want to give up. Probably like the original box for my Solo X that I built that was in the trunk. Around 6 cubes. You know what I mean? But if you got enough power, it should work. I think.
Yeah, with it, just phase them really well, taking all that stuff, gain match them, you'd be good.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that phase stuff? I think I talked about this earlier, where you don't have to worry about phase issues when you have 1 amp on one sub and 1 amp on the other sub to like fix the phase and like the input gain and all that stuff. All you have to do is wire 1 coil on 1 amp and 1 amp on the other coil of the other sub. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you're pretty much you have 1 amp going on each coil of each sub, and then the other amp going on the other coil of each sub. So then you never run into that phase issue because the subwoofer's not going to go different ways. It's just going to go one way. You're going to get more input from 1 amp or less from the other, vice versa. And you'll never get that phase issue, at least with that, other than your enclosure.
Do you think you'll take and see anything where, and all of it's going to equate to and the change in the impedance curve, do you think? Or do you think it'll change the getting thermal stuff like that? Do you think it affects any of that stuff or no?
It probably could, because you're messing with the electrical compliance of the woofer, and you're not putting it all together as 1 amp on 1 woofer. But I mean, that's the same thing as like whenever people are like, well, I have 2 subs on 1 amp and the 1 port's closer to the 1 sub. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of a difference, but is it going to make a huge difference where you can notice?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know enough to speak on it, but that's what I've always done, and man, it sounded so much better, because like there's times whenever I had, 1 amp on 1 sub and 1 amp on the other sub, and I just wired them together. It works, but then you can find out when you're metering, you can get a little bit more if you have them working together better. So.
Joe, what do you think about that? Talking about somebody slamming too, man. Joe in case he did a retune on all Joe's setup, and it is freaking slamming right now, man. The thing is,
I didn't do it. Casey did it.
Yeah. What did he do different? Was it the loading wall?
No, he went in and adjusted my my gains, my crossovers, and he's gonna go back and do some tuning on my phasing. But the difference he made already was huge. I thought I was pretty close, but I guess over time of touching and tweaking, I got it way out of range. Didn't even realize I was that far out of range. Might have been able to eating up my subs over the time.
What do you got, like 2 amps and then 1 set of subs?
Yeah,
or?
I have 8 subs, 4 on each amp, and I guess over time of do a little bit here, a little bit there, you lose where you were, and I must have had it way out of range. It was still loud, don't take it wrong, but the difference it made was huge difference it did.
Absolutely, too, because that's the thing with phase when woofers are closer to the port, and especially with a big wall that you have. You know what I mean? Like the loading, all that kind of fun stuff. Anything more than 2 woofers, I'm good. You know what I mean?
No, 8 is better. 8 is better. 8,
yeah, just throw as many as you can in there. You'll be good.
Whatever fits, as many as you can fit. If you could squeeze 2 more, that'd be great. You could squeeze a few more in yours.
That's what Joe gives me a hard time every time because I'm like, I'm not loud, Joe, and he's like, yeah, I've got double the crap you do, man. You got double everything. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I've sat in your truck. It's loud.
It's okay. It's all right.
Hey, sometimes demo vehicles sound louder, even though they might not be louder on the meter. You know,
that's that force of the just sheer motor force. You know, it's an illusion.
Yeah. And not only that, too. I still do like being able to play it at full volume the whole entire time. And like, how long do you want to play it in the 50s? Like, the 155 is not that loud, but how long do you want to sit there and listen to music at 155? Like, it'll beat on you. Like after a couple of a show, my jaw will hurt and stuff, man. I'm not joking, man.
That's because you're smiling and you're so happy.
I do, and I do that weird goofy nod that I start doing whenever I start bumping, and I'm like, I see a video of myself rocking out, and I'm like, you goofy looking goof. But
you don't know what to do with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other guy's like enjoying himself, and then you just gotta relax and just enjoy it too, like it's your first time.
Sure.
I've never been to a show and not had a good time, so I don't know. It's always good for me.
I've been liking letting other people control the bass knob.
We're not doing that on my
Well, yeah, because Joe has like turned your vehicle into a black hole on a game on a knob. I don't have that. I have mine tuned where I can play it full volume, full tail, and it'll be okay.
I can't.
Dude, a kid would actually like oop real fast on his and it would hurt somebody.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No. It's not that loud. It's loud enough.
Heck yeah. So have you remetered it since he tuned it, or
No,
waiting?
not yet. I'm waiting. I have a term lab. I haven't put it in yet.
Right. I'm the same way with stuff. I still haven't remetered with the new lithium. I'm just, it sounds louder and I can demo way longer, cleaner. So works for me regardless what it does.
I run 2 lithium 100s and 4 MechMan alternators, so I have plenty of power. But I really don't want to put it on the meter, really. It kind of would take the fun out of it. It's more fun wanting to know what it is than actually knowing what it is.
So you can tell he's been into it for a long time. That's what you know.
I know it's loud. Last time I metered it, it was loud, and now it's louder. But I'm not chasing
60s.
Numbers.
He's going to be in the 60s for sure.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, Rob. Yeah. It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there.
What were you doing last time? Like 58, 59, or
somewhere up there? It was up there, but I turned it. I didn't go all the way out because my team I was with prior, we were only trying to beat the highest score at the show. So they shut me down before I went any higher than the peak.
He won at a 50. He beat the highest score at a 57 and turned it off.
Oh, sandbagging! I know a guy that does that. God.
Yeah. So yeah,
you're bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, I shut down. Shut down early.
Well, that's what you kind of got to do. You know what I mean? Because if you put up a great number, someone's gonna be like, "Well, I just got to beat that." And then that's the thing. Go in blind.
I can tell you this: I didn't smack the windshield then, and I've smacked 3 of them since then. So
yeah.
Wow.
We know.
What do you peak at? Like 45-ish or something like
29 to 36 is about where I go.
Oh wow! So you are low.
That's as low as it will go. It will play lower, but it doesn't sound good.
Right.
It plays higher too, and it doesn't sound good either. It hurts. You're like, oh.
Yeah. If I want to make you go, oh, I can push it about 40, 45. But
see, that's the thing.
Above 50
hertz, above 50 hertz is wasted information. We don't need that.
No. I don't like to play 50 hertz. Anything above 40 is just painful. So if I keep it lower and make it sound good, it's good.
Acoustical Art sat in the chat for 24 hours to wait for this stream. He said,
"Damn, dedicated."
CigarJoe reminds him of Regan, the guy, the bat from Walking Dead. I could see that actually. Dang. If he shaved his goatee off, it would look like it. Silk Dome. I love Silk Domes, bro. Silk Domes are my jazz.
Heck yeah.
I don't know though. Okay, I've talked so much smack about bullet tweeters and stuff like that. Joe's tweeters sound freaking good, and he has 2 bullet tweeters each door.
And 2 in the 8 pillars as well.
You got them toned down though, right?
They're turning way down. Yeah.
You have to. I have 2 in the 8 pillars in the front each side, 2 in the front 2 doors, and 2 in each rear doors. And if I turn them up, it's piercing.
Wow.
They're crystal clear, but it's piercing, so I got to keep them down.
That'll make you go deaf before the bass, man. Telling you.
Too late.
You.
80% deaf here and 22% deaf here. 30%, whatever it is over here.
Did you actually get tested for that? Wow, that's crazy.
I did. It's 80% gone here on this side.
Wow. See, I think I only lost
Sorry.
No,
I didn't hear you. Yeah. It's definitely from the high, but that's I'm doing this since I was 14. I'm 50, so keep it up, and eventually you'll start having it.
Right. Yeah, I think I lost a little bit of hearing, but not really from the bass. Firecracker accident. Lighting firecracker going like this. Blew up my damn hand. My ear was ringing for like 2 hours. I thought I was deaf. Came back, but it's a little bit less on that side.
I gave myself tinnitus, man. I had done an exchange for a person that owed me money. I did his cash in a handgun, right? And his handgun was missing the striker cap on the back of it. It was I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was standing in my tool truck. I used to have like a house alarm on my tool truck. I had to like stand there and wait till it let me arm it. And dude, that gun went off in my tool truck, bro. I had just a discharge. I had my hand on the palm part of the backside safety, but not on the trigger or anything like that. Boom, went the fuck off. And dude, my ears rang for like a solid week, bro. That was so loud. I saw dots, bro, from how loud it was. Because I'm like
asking about Arnold's.
You're lucky you didn't do any damage,
Yeah. Somebody's asking about what now? The death bombs?
Arnold's, yeah. So I actually had those.
I love them.
Time. They're fantastic. Don't buy the cheap ones. Buy the expensive ones for sure. Put a lot of power on them, and they're incredible.
They got a honking magnet on them. I got a big old honking. Yeah. It's more than cheap subwoofers, man. Okay, like it's got like literally like a subwoofer sized motor on 6.5. So you're like, what is the heck is this?
Jesus.
Yeah, they produce some very, very loud vocals. You better have a lot of power for them, though. Don't be shy on the power. They get very loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like a mid-driver, right?
Mid-range.
Not like a coaxial or anything. Okay,
no, it's straight mid-range, but you better have a lot of power. But man, they're incredibly loud.
The frequency response, though, man, once you start getting in those really beefy mid-range drivers, dude, they're almost full range, dude. All reality. Like, if you set your crossover points right, they're just about full range. Now, you're not going to get the low wind extension or, the 20,000 hertz range. But, I mean, like, for the most part, with a little bit of tweaking, you can get some crazy sound with some of those smaller drivers. Especially once you get into 8s or 10s, man, it's like, what the crap?
Play better than some little Bluetooth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Joe's and Casey's, like they fully now. Obviously, unless you want to be doing windy bass, they can literally just play their doors full, just doors, and you're like, what the crap? This is insane. Which mine sounded really good too, but I just have a pair of 6.5-inch door on a tweeter, so it's not quite. Yeah, you have like 32 door speakers, Joe, or something like that.
It's up there.
Yeah, you're like,
that's crazy. That's like my dude Soda, man. Same way, but it sounds good. You don't have to, depend on so much out of your few speakers when you have so many, and you're going to put less stress on them just because you're going to get where you want before you push your equipment too far.
Yeah. When you're running 815s, you got to have enough doors to go over to keep up with them.
That's one thing, man. People, you got to have the mids and highs to keep up with the bass. Otherwise, it's
sounds garbled.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So like, okay. So I posted the picture. I put the 2 kickers in my lady friend's car or whatever. She had a blown. I've never heard of it. She said it was an audio pipe. I saw it's an eye pipe. I've never even heard of eye pipe before. But yeah, but the amplifier was an audio pipe. They were both dead, and so I don't know how. She had some shop install it. And this is like a 20+ year friend of mine. And so she comes to my house, and I'm like, I was going to just put my amp on that sub. And then it kind of felt toasty, kind of want to push on it. I'm like, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. So I took the whole setup, the whole amp and everything I had out of the Civic. And I was like, long-time friend, here you go. Pay me when you got it. And cool. I was going to tune it. I was tuning it for her. And she had it, I'm assuming they have the line-out converter on the rear, because obviously if you fade at the rear, the sub gets loud or whatever. But dude, she liked it where it was like 2 steps from the ferry back from the rear, and the doors are like almost turned off. I'm like, go to the front, like we need some soundstage or whatever. That's just like the way she liked to play it, though. And I'm like, after I like tried to hey, you should let me tune it real quick. She's like, no. I'm like, fine. Listen to it like this. You can just barely hear the doors. But
yeah. That's cool when you're like, first getting into it. You just want that bass. You don't care what you're giving up. But after that,
yeah,
it don't take long to get hooked. Don't take long.
That's for sure. No, she's been a bass head for a long time. It's actually, that girl is my dad, that when he was a Rockford rep, he had a business partner that was running a shop, All Out Audio here in Woodstock, and
Oh wow.
that was my business partner, my dad's business partner's daughter. So like I've known him since I was a little tiny kid. That's the reason I was like, you deserve something nicer than this. Here you go, like.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about spending $200 on an amp anyway, just to throw back on that, flea market 12 or whatever. So it's like, take my whole kit and caboodle. These kickers are better with you anyway, okay? Like, enjoy them. And she was kind of funny too, because she's like, I don't like kickers, and I'm like, just trust me,
That's because her brother, step cousin's
It's
father.
her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend said he doesn't like kickers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's this
Why
guy?
not?
Yeah. Where's he at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the one buying iPipe, bro? iPipe. Yeah.
Of course.
That's a bad boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's ex now, but.
Oh, good.
But no, it's fine. Obviously, she likes him now. She's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'm like, I'm gonna drink my tea now. Like, it's beating the crap out of her little Honda Fit.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Yeah, you get
incriminator
loud
amps are
those.
cool. The cool thing on those incriminator amps, 25 hertz, the reason they're massive is, so when you look at most D-class boards, it's gonna be laid out into an obvious power supply. I'm gonna pull one up. There's a power supply section and an output section. So let's look up even like Reads into DC 13K. Any rate, so you'll have an obvious power supply section and an obvious output section. There's going to be a place in the middle of the board where it's going to split. And here's a good photo from old Crescendo here. I thought there was. There we go. But there'll be a place where the board splits. I can share a screen now. Place where the board splits here. So like both of these look like one-piece designs actually. But
that's one board, yeah.
it's
for
one
sure.
board. Normally than not though, you'd have like a line through it where it'd be power supply section and output section. I'm gonna go back off this website anyway, but
So they're not internally strapped, or is that what you were thinking?
no, that's not even what I was talking about. Period. So more amps than not, you'll see have just like this amp here. There's two boards here in this amp. Okay, the incriminator audio, instead of doing it long ways, they stack them on top of each other. So it's got like a ribbon and power cables that go like a.
Yeah, to go up to the other to send a signal or whatever they're doing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool. So they make them thick, but they're cool because there's no, that's some of them are.
You know what?
long boards,
I seen those. Okay, so that's what's kind of going on there. I wasn't sure if
when
that
you
was
see like
some
the
kind of.
80.1, that's the power supply section on the bottom and the output section on the top.
Nice.
Wow.
But it makes they're cool. I really like incriminator audio. I think they're freaking cool, man.
They have good results, that's for sure.
Yeah, Casey had that 40.1. That's when he had on his platinum. Those are freaking killer amplifier.
That almost looks like some kind of high voltage amplifier. You know what I mean? It looks
Yeah,
like...
I like them. I have a lot of respect for incriminator.
You should be plugging in your television into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep, that'll work.
I've been looking at a lot of them. I've been keeping my eye on. I have a customer of mine that's a Ground Zero dealer. He's been in my range for a while, but Ground Zero I've been keeping my eye on here lately. And then another one I feel like stepped their game up is freaking DS18, man. I feel like they're getting in the. I feel like they're
Hooligan.
taking. Yeah, well they've had Hooligan stuff for a while. I didn't mean to put that back, so I remove it. But
Yeah.
they're stepping it up.
Well, they've always had good product.
Oh, for sure. And I tell a lot of people that. And the DS18 makes some killer product. Killer product. Just like anything else, especially when they have, 10 lines of product, you got to avoid the cheap stuff, dude, because they're going to have,
That's right.
and you're going to have flea market quality all the way to top shelf premium stuff and everything in between. They want to sell to all customers.
Absolutely.
Well, when you buy the cheap product, don't push it like the heavy product and expect the same results.
Sure.
Oh, come on, man. You can still do it.
No,
You can do
even
it.
kicker. Don't buy the entry level and push it as hard as the premium level and expect the same results. You just can't do it.
Is it because I bought it at Walmart? Is that why?
No, it's because you bought it at the flea market.
Ah, yeah, that
And you
ain't
peel the
why.
sticker off, and it's a pyramid underneath it.
All I had to do was put E6000 on it, and it works like it was brand new. Sounds the same, you know?
I don't
Gorilla
think
tape.
I got to find it now, man. Where is it at? I'm going to go to Kicker Club right now. The guy, was he posted the Kicker Club? It was the pile square subs with the Kicker's solo dust cap glued on it or whatever.
Oh, yeah, those were
Oh.
legit.
I was like, solid.
I should do that because I have a Pile 12-inch. It still works, but it's like one coil shot, and it sounds terrible. Someone gave it to me. They're like, "Here's a kicker." I'm like, "That's okay, thanks."
Yeah, I really, man, like just want to take and if I had another like I guess the Civic or something like that, I was gonna do a goofy build in. I would take and just glue a dust cap on top of something like a nice SPL subwoofer and do a boss sticker or something silly like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got the pyramid on top of it.
A pyramid, yeah, or pile,
That'd be
even
perfect.
worse. I think I'd rather I think pile's worse than pyramid personally.
Well, the old pyramids back in the early '80s weren't terrible.
The pyramid, they tried to be competitive in the late '80s and early '90s.
They were decent for their price range. At the time, they were like $24, $30 a piece. That was reasonable.
Yeah, it's going back to what I was talking about last night on reverse polarity. I was like, as a kid, I knew J.C. Whitley was lying to me when they said pile 2,000 watts, for like $149. I was like, this is horse shit. I know better than that. There's no way. Cause like if it was going to sell an amp for $149, it would not be in a black and white catalog. Okay.
Right. Were they like one of the first companies that started that? Kind of like overrating crap?
I feel like that, man. Now, I feel like there's some leeway in the 90s. There's a lot of people don't give credit to. Okay, like we're just now getting to the point now where like an AMM1 or even the AMP AD1 is like accessible to the average person, even though they're still rather expensive. $450 is expensive for a lot of people. The $3,000 machine is expensive for a lot of people. That's before you even get into load bank stuff. You're aware of that. You have your own test bench.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's
for that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the Turn Lab. I mean, that shit is not cheap. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the SPL Lab was $699. I got like a 15% discount. That's about it.
But
still a lot of money.
I feel like in the 90s, you have to give some level. They're like, oh, PPI art amps. They did almost rated power, but they didn't meet it. Like, bro, what were they testing it with in 1995, bro? How accurate was that crap? You know what I mean? Yeah. So if they're rated at 150 and it does 138. I'm good, dude. Yeah, If it sounds great, who cares?
Right. And that's the thing with like amp dynos. You're never going to see that power unless you're really a professional and you're wiring down and you know what you're going to rise to so the amp don't pop. It's the only time you're going to see that. And then you play music, there goes that. It's gone.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying I justify today. Obviously, you cannot sell radios and speakers and stuff like that out of the range. But I'm talking about older equipment that almost meant rated and stuff like that. You can't. They get a pass in my book, man. Especially if they sound good.
That's like this thing right here. I just tested this. The video will be up Thursday.
Oh, nice! I love those DX amps, dude.
And you know what's funny? It did really good, but it failed the certified 2-ohm with all channels driven by 4 watts a channel. It did 96 each one. But then uncertified, it did 523 altogether. And
so it's like,
come on.
And that's another thing too. I feel like, especially now, that's okay. I'm not taking fault on it, but that's a budget amplifier. You know what I mean? If it's a budget-oriented amplifier and it does the power rated dynamically, I'm happy.
Right.
That's pretty close, though.
Right. Yeah. Heck yeah.
What can you do to it to make the 4 more watts, though?
I tried higher voltage. Didn't work.
Higher voltage or higher frequency. You could probably
lower the impedance.
The impedance was 2 on the money on each channel. So I got it pretty down to where I need frequency. But the frequency's at 38 hertz. So that's low. That's stressful on an amplifier.
If you put it on like a bookshelf speaker and did like 1 kilohertz, it'd probably be like pa-cha-ching way up there. You can right. And a lot of people don't realize too is some of these things people, even the AMM1 stuff like that. If you don't know what you're doing, or if you do know what you're doing, you can deceive people on power if a guy wanted to. So
it would do rated power at 1.7. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, man, it's not doing rated. What's going on here? Let me put some voltage on. Voltage wasn't really sagging that much. It was going 14.4 to 14.25, and I'm like, well, I got the power. Right. Because I was having issues with the CX. I was dropping down to 12.3, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's why it's not doing certified. But it was doing it uncertified, but still, that's 2,000 watts.
What was the RCA voltage input?
RCA, I only got 4 volts coming out, so.
Okay.
You know, it's not bad. It's not too high, but
What are you
know,
doing for your? Are you still doing the little twisted up gains method or no?
This thing, what I had to do was because I was trying to get more accurate clicks. One, I just set the gain where it's clean on the pre-out signal that I'm sending to it, and then what I do is I just go up on my volume, like on your not your clicky part, but once you click it, you can use your finger, and it's like a slow roll. I was able to get a more accurate roll because whenever you turn the volume on your radio, you might go a click past, and it's not going to read that because it's going to jump to that uncertified power rating and not show what it can actually do certified. But that's why I'm ordering from Down for Sound. I've been trying to get with Jacob Scott because I'm trying to buy the DS18 bass knob with voltage meter and RCA's in and out, so I can just, you know, set the gain, set the volume, just boop, that's it. You know what I mean? So, but until then, that's what I got to do. And you can't turn two gains. You know, that's how I usually do it. Set it on the head unit where it doesn't clip, and then just turn the gain up until it clips, and then there you go. There's your rating. I mean, it works. I mean, I'm getting certified ratings on the runs, you know, otherwise. So
Nice. I think you'll probably gain on that too because you can full tilt boogie the amp and be able to roll into it.
heck yeah. Volume is a gain knob. It's the same thing, right? You know, come on.
I'm trying to take in Notorious. You should do that if you're thinking about doing it. Those are great amps. And then I don't know what they're talking about. Name drop. I don't care. But heck yeah, man. So hypothetical builds. You got anything in mind? Taking in Joe? Do you have anything in mind? You're talking about doing a golf cart or a go kart, something like that, or that's
Go karts, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Go karts versus golf carts because everybody does the golf carts, so that's getting played out, I guess. And we should do go karts.
Yeah.
With nice bodies on them, you know, put nice bodies on them and go from there.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool.
I got a go-kart, nothing crazy. It's a Zircon 150cc forward reverse, smokes like a bandit, but it runs.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
I got a Alpine head unit on there.
What?
And I got Alpine
See,
head
Andy's
unit.
ahead of the curve with us now.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to start this build, but we got a budget of no more than $500.
Heck yeah.
Oh man.
I want to put something on it. I need a bigger battery. The rectifier is terrible. It barely charges, rectifier, whatever it is, the stator, that thing, barely charges over 13 volts. So you play any kind of music, you definitely need something deep cycle, you know, for a long. If you're going to put an amplifier on it with a head unit, it seems okay. But, you know, with any more power than that, I don't know. I think it's like probably 10 amps on that.
If I was going to do it, I would they have a Fusion Marine radio that I freaking love. And I'm thinking about, honestly, even putting one in my 79 Civic. It's got like it's just Bluetooth only. It's got no CD player, but it's got sub front and rear out with 4-volt pre-out. And here we go. Boom. I'll share this one. Think about just doing this. And then they're cheap. They've got a nice built-in amp on them. So I think it's like 50x4 or something like that. And it's like, boom, that'd be something great for a go-kart or a retro field build, something like that, because it's pretty small. It's not the whole size of a single din.
Not bad.
Yeah. So what you think? So we've got
could be fun.
Could be fun.
How about you, Scott? You got a go-kart or?
I need one now. I need another project. Like I need another freaking money pit. Honestly.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
Andy, is yours a go-kart or a little crawler type?
It's like a side-by-side, I guess you could consider.
Okay,
it.
that's not a go-kart.
Well, it's not like a go-kart you would go on a track with. You know what I mean?
That's not the same thing.
Oh, come on, man! It's a go-kart.
Not the same. No. That could be a Razor. That could be one of them giant ones with the 44-inch tires on it. That could be anything.
Oh, I'm not that big. No, it's tiny. It's about. I mean, it's 8 feet long. Here, I'll send you some pictures, Scott.
8 feet long. It's no longer a go-kart. Go-karts are like 4.5 feet long, 3 feet wide.
Yeah, you mean like the tiny little race ones or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 5 horsepower motor on the back. That's a go-kart.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what the horsepower. I think it's like 10 horsepower. I think on mine or something.
See, I got lucky. I was like 9 years old, and my mom's brother, my Uncle David, he gave us our first everything with a motor on it. Everything I ever got in my whole life, the first one up with the engine, he gave me. And awesome. Yeah, so he got us a go-kart, and it was it's a single-seater, but it's like a big frame. I still have pictures of it somewhere, but it had a lawnmower Tecumseh 20 horsepower motor on it with a centrifugal clutch, so it's like the higher it revs, the tighter the belt gets,
Yeah.
And dude, that thing would boogie, dude. Like you'd kick donuts in it in the dirt and stuff like that, and like in the grass, it'd just sling the snot out of donuts, man.
Heck
And I have twin brothers, so we'd always get in the fights, taking turns of like. We had my great grandfather. He was like a car hoarder. He probably had, I'm not even exaggerating, probably 20 or 30 cars in a field across the road from his house when I was a kid, and just a variety of stuff. And we got to where we just had like a little circle track that we would just do hot laps on. And like, you did your 4 laps, get off that thing, man. And you're like, no, man, I'm doing one more. Just let me fly, man.
Just one more lap. That's what I want to go to. Is it's called Strattlers or Stater? I forget what it's called. Strategos. I don't know. Anyway, it's a go-kart place up here, and it's like $15, and you get like 15 minutes or something like that on like the little go-karts, racetrack, and everything. I want to take my son on there and have some fun. A little bit better than our go-kart. We don't have a yard, so when I drive it, it's like a few minutes on the road, illegal, but turns out down in West Virginia, I did a store down West Virginia last night, and there was literally like a side-by-side. It had a windshield, it had lights, tail lights, but like nothing fancy, you know what I mean? Like it was an ATV parked at Sheetz, and literally a cop went right past him, walked into the door, and I'm like, are those things legal or what? And he was like, oh yeah, why? Let me guess, what state are you from? Pennsylvania. I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? So I guess long as they have turn signals and stuff like that, you can ride them on the road, which is crazy,
They used to let people in Georgia register 4-wheelers, stuff like that. I bet you've had some cool power sports stuff over the years, Joe. What about that?
Well, my favorite one was my sand rail. I built a sand rail when I was in Houston. It was all tubular frame. It had a Volkswagen 1776cc engine I had rebuilt many times from blowing it up. Dual Weber carburetors on the back, 4-speed. It was basically a Volkswagen on a tubular frame.
Yeah, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, 33-inch Michelin tires, Mickey Thompson's on the back. I'm sorry, Mickey Thompson on the back, and still skinny scam rails on the front. That thing was awesome. That was awesome.
I had a Baja Bug. I think I showed you the other day. I love.
Yeah, you showed me. Mine was all tubular frame. It was fantastic. I got it for $100. It didn't run, and I went up putting about $5,000 into it, and it was a blast. I loved that thing. But when I moved from Houston to here, I couldn't bring it, so I had to sell it. The guy I sold it to, he had a good time with it, I'm sure. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, Andy pulled up some pictures of his thing.
Yeah, check it out.
That's sweet though, Joe. The guy that I got my Baja Bug from when I bought the Baja Bug, so he built the Baja Bug in like the 80s, and it kind of just stayed the same until I got it. He kept seat covers on and all that stuff. He didn't really drive it. So when I got the Baja Bug from him, he built a dune buggy, which is saying the sand rail thing pretty much, and that thing blew my mind, man. Even his wasn't even you said yours was a 1700, man. His was like a 1600 dual port, just like I had in the Baja Bug. Dude, like 80 horsepower, you are freaking moving, dude. Like, yeah.
Mine was single port heads.
It's different when you're down low on the ground going that fast.
Yeah.
It's different.
Even my Baja Bug, if you just like revved it and clutch jumped it, you could like jerk the front wheels up for like a second, take off.
Oh, not my Sam rail. It was too heavy.
Yeah.
It was too heavy for that. It was as big as a car. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah, they stretch them out.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It was 2-seater. Yeah. It was basically a car. It would have been street legal if I wanted to be, but I didn't. I never did got around to doing that. I lived in a place where I could ride it in the field and the track and the mud, and we had a blast with it. I blew the engine up on it 3 times for sure.
Jeez, that's what I want. I want some land.
Man, I just drove a foot on the floor the whole time. I didn't care.
Yeah,
it was the whole fun of it.
I got lucky. Mine never left me stranded. I took in one time. I've had it happen twice now. So my Baja Bug and my 79 Civic, I'll just be giving them the old beans, the 1-2 or the 2-3, and I'll do no lift shifting, where I'd keep it full throttle the whole time, and then you just like clutch it and just back to full throttle real quick for a second. I snap old throttle cables. I broke the throttle cable in the Bug. I broke the throttle cable in the 79 Civic. The Bug I had to get fixed, but my buddy had a throttle cable. He's also a Volkswagen guy. The Civic, I was showing out. I had a lady in the car, and we just, had all whopping 100 horsepower, giving every bit of it to the ground. And I was giving it the old 2-3, and when I did the 2-3, gas pedal went in the floor and didn't come back up. And then I took in I got lucky, man. I had a broken pencil in the floorboard and a hose clamp, and I pulled the cable back over to where it wasn't broken, put the pencil there and the hose clamp around it, tightened it down. And I didn't have full throttle, but I had enough where I could get it to where I was going, and I was fine. And I put it in the throttle.
Man.
Must be nice to have a cable throttle, though. That's got to be good if you ever compete with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the Excursion I like because there's not even electronically controlled idle. It's got actually like an idle screw that goes in or out, and it keeps the flap open or closed. I'll just take and fold a piece of paper 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Pull my throttle body back, stick that in there. Boom, we're at like a 1,500 RPMs. That's where I demo at, bro. Just leave it at it. AC,
I wish I could do that.
crispy. Yeah.
Right. It's nice.
No, mine's flat by wire, so I can't do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
We could do it if you took and plug it into a bidirectional scan tool and raise it up manually. Deviant, I got a funny Tiger Woods game. So I got Xbox 360 free off Facebook Marketplace, and me and Casey were like, we're gonna play all these games that I had, and I got a stack of games that I found, and I had some already, and so a lot of them had to install. So we had to play a game that I forgot what we were trying to play, but we had to play a game that could play while stuff was downloading in the background. Just so happened Tiger Woods Pro Golf 2010 was what we had that could do that. We didn't even end up caring about the other games. That we were 2 days on playing Tiger Woods Pro Golf, and Casey bought the new one, played it 2 times, never played it again. But what should we think about that?
That's making me want to play some Wii Sports. You know what I mean?
Dude, golf for some reason. I find it thoroughly enjoyable. I don't want to watch somebody go play golf, but and I'm the new Steve. Nice. You could be the new Steve. You got to pass the torch one day,
That's saying a little bit there, yeah.
No.
I think that's going to be Kip,
It'll be Kip.
If it's going to fall anybody, yeah.
Or John,
Sure.
as seen on TV Myers.
John Myers, oh yeah. Heck yeah, man. Nah, they're living legends for sure, man. Yeah, we won't forget nothing. That's the thing.
For sure, definitely, man. I've had nothing but utmost respect for those guys.
Heck yeah. It's crazy how they kept that show going. It was going to be the whole SEMA revealing of the L7X. Well, that's what I knew. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This will be cool. This will be cool. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this every week now. And I'm like, heck yeah. That's awesome.
And look at
Cool.
you now going on there.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. It's cool.
We're going to have Joe on these podcasts before I know it. Other ones.
So, except for bass, what do you guys do for hobbies?
I'll let Andy go first.
Hobbies. I got a lot of hobbies. Fish. Not going fish. Aquariums and stuff like that. Pets, you know what I mean? But I got a lot of fish. I have 10 or 11 fish tanks now. I
That's
usually
awesome.
lose one or gain one. It depends. I got
Freshwater or
big
saltwater?
All freshwater. Salt's expensive, especially when you have as many tanks as I do. It's nice if you have one big tank at saltwater and you get your Nemo and you know what I mean. You just put them in there and it's undersized or oversized for the fish. Then you don't have to do so many water changes. So when you do water changes, you have to take out the salt, or you take out the salt when you're sucking the water out. So you got to put the salt back in. That salt's expensive over time.
Yeah.
And you got to have biodomes, all that stuff for them.
Right, yeah, you gotta have the skimmers for the stuff on the top of the water. It's unnecessary stuff. They are cool for certain fish, but every time I go to the fish store and I look at the saltwater fish, I'm like, wow, they're cool looking, but some of them are really ugly. You know what I mean? Because it's real stuff you're gonna see out in the ocean. It's different when you get freshwater fish. They're all colorful and you know what I mean, more for your novice fish keeper and stuff like that. But yeah, I got a
It
big
depends, too. There's
plug
some
out.
pretty vibrant. See, my dad, he took and used to build saltwater aquariums in the 90s. Actually, a hobby he would do would build large ones, 500,000 gallon tank, 500 to 1,000, not 500,000, but the
yeah,
huge
that's
ones.
big.
With they did displays in restaurants and
That's
stuff
cool.
like that. Yeah, I got to see some pretty cool stuff with the. I've also seen some big disasters too. They had one fish aquarium that it failed and busted while we were on vacation and flooded the living room and thousands of dollars of eels and nurse sharks and all kinds of not nurse sharks. Is it nurse shark? What the fuck was small? Is it? Yeah, it must be nurse shark. Or just died and all that stuff. It was just we came home to a nasty living room.
I've had that, man. Guppies everywhere. It was terrible. my son knocked over. He like was playing with like the footstool we had, and literally was like putting it against like the fence or something like that for like, you know, not or the gate for the kids not to get out. Well, he was playing with it back and forth. The darn foot of the, you know, the chair or whatever thing literally went crashing right through the fish tank, and all you see is these little tiny guppies, like 10s and 20s of them coming out of the tank, and like they're literally like skipping in the water. When we cleaned it all up and like saved what we could, there was literally a puddle in the back of the living room with like 15 more guppies, and they were still all alive in this little puddle of water. It was so scary, and it was bad. My landlord hates me probably. Once he finds out, you know, once I move out, he's gonna be like, "Man, there's a lot of water damage here." Yeah, I don't think
he now knows. Yeah.
I had one aquarium my whole life, and I was in kindergarten. And I have a twin brother. We're fraternal twins. And we were rolling around fighting one day, and for some reason, one of his head ended up through the front of the fish aquarium. That's a freshwater one. And I remember seeing it. It was like lightning outside. It was like water just out of the aquarium. My parents were like, "No more aquariums for you, son." But yeah, I'll never do that again. I have your go-kart photos.
Oh yeah, throw them up. Heck yeah. It's nothing too crazy. I got it for free, you know. And
what?
Yeah. They were using it to mow trees. Long story short, never finished the job. Never came back for it. It was a shady deal. My parents got screwed out of it. But I got a go-kart. You know, it was cool. So all I had to do was get a new ignition and fire it up. But they didn't take care of it, man. The rings are shot in the cylinder. I might have to replace the cylinder head or just throw a new engine on. I kind of threw some stop leak in there. It runs, but I could tell there's some compression loss. I can only hit about 25, 30 miles an hour instead of like 40. But it runs, it works. Needs tires, shot to heck, but it's a go-kart for free. I was like a $4,000 go-kart. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, on the top there, I got Goodwill speakers, and then the radio's underneath the mesh section right there. It's all zip tied and screwed in there. It's nothing crazy, but just so it would work. And then
I like your cabinet, these old retro.
Heck yeah.
Really sweet. What's like Pioneers or something?
I forget. They're not Pioneers, but
Not
something
Kenwood.
Similar. Yeah, someone pointed it out because I posted on Kicker Club or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, I need some Kicker speakers like this. And they're like,
Dude,
those are good.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant the other day. They had the Kicker outdoor speakers on the outside. I was like, wow, these are rocking.
Heck yeah. I see them come up time and time. I mean, they're like $120 for the pair, so it's not terrible, you know, but definitely it's like I don't want to waste the money on that go-kart. You know what I mean? It's like it works, it's got a system in it, you know, you can drive it. It's a toy. That's a toy, you know.
We need to take and go over home stereo stuff. When I talked to you about it before, Joe's got a pretty insane home theater setup. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, what's he got? Like a surround sound setup? Or like
it's a 7.2 channel surround sound.
Nice.
On kill. Yeah, it's pretty loud.
I
It's
seen
like the imaging
Steve-
is really good.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you have that 7.2, that's what can you play that has 7.2? Is it like pretty much just like not DVDs but like
He showed me
Blu-rays and
the
stuff like
entry
that?
to John Wick 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
a good
like
one.
it was insane, and like it was
That's a good
raining,
one.
and you could hear drops like all over the place and stuff like that. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, when the bullets start flying, it's pretty good. They'll bounce around you pretty well.
Wow. That's
I have to
cool.
turn the bass down because with the two subwoofers, they hit really hard. You got to keep them pretty turned down pretty far.
Right. You don't want that extra boom anyway, you know.
Well, I got one set pretty high, and I got the other one set lower, so they are separated pretty good.
Nice.
But they're in
So this-
different areas in the room.
Yeah, that one's at 60 hertz and up, and that one's at 50 hertz and down. So
Oh wow. So you're it's like almost like those guys for like the 15 for the lows and the 10s for the high bass. Is that kind of like because it kind of does work in a way.
it does. Oh, it does work. It does work. So
Where one
depending
falls
on-
off, the other one picks up.
Oh yeah, and if it's the right movie at the right time. If you watch any of the newer Star Wars, it's pretty good. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but the soundtrack is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch any of the newer Star Wars, they really did a good job on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. I was watching a little bit of a video with Kayla, and she actually likes watching Steve Mead's videos. You know what I mean? At Nexos and stuff like that. They like them like the more fun watching videos. You know, not just geeky like what we like to watch. But yeah, he has like a 9.2.4
Yeah.
How does that even work? I've heard of 5.1, 2,
Well, my
1.
next one's going to be a 13.2, so.
Jesus. Got enough speakers,
Oh, no, I'm going to get rid of all this and get some clips and change them all out.
Nice.
Well, you got to have it,
But yeah, he had a video with his new surround setup, I guess, installing more speakers and stuff. And I like how he does it. He runs the wires literally through his floor underneath his basement and then to the speaker up again through the floor.
Yep.
That's called some clean wiring,
Yeah.
If you got the space, yeah.
Right.
A lot of these places
absolutely.
too, when they have to build the houses, like a lot of them be incorporated into the house to be a theater room, stuff like that. It'll have this stuff over where the conduit's there for. It's pretty nuts. My grandfather owns a contracting company, and a lot of these new houses, they'll have it already built in where you'll have either coax cables or hookup points for speakers and all kinds of stuff built in the home. You're like, that's freaking nuts.
Wow.
I'm basic. I like a good old 2.1 setup. I want 2 channels and a subwoofer. And sometimes
Just buy a sound bar and you'll be fine.
Nah, because I got those big ass cabinets. They sound wicked on movies, man. Wicked.
Oh yeah.
But I don't have the rear field sound or anything.
You can get that. Yeah, I was gonna say you can get the virtual surround.
Not as good. It's not even close.
Well, Joe's got some. You got some rear speakers over there to your left or your right. I mean, that I need to grab
behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to put those behind me because I have the channels. I just don't have anything hooked up to them.
You gotta fix it.
Yeah, I need to turn my living room around and do toward the back of it, where I can do it behind us on the wall or something.
You're missing 30% of the sound. You got to get it all set up right.
Yeah, but I say that, but do you know how often I'm watching movies downstairs? Never. I'm at this desk with headphones on.
Yeah.
Well, headphones are good if they're good headphones.
Yeah.
These are Denon. These are fantastic.
I like anything Denon I really like. That's the Denon receiver I've got downstairs in 1911. It's insane.
See, I've never heard of that brand. I'm not real big into the home audio. Never went down that way. So they're more of like a professional grade stuff.
All reality,
professional grade.
It's professional grade. Not only that, they've been around for a very long time. And believe it or not, a lot of like Rockford Fosgate stuff was Denon rebranded. So like they make actually high end radios. So like if you go to like
I think Casey wants to jump in.
Where's he at?
He messaged me or the chat, one of the two.
Anyway, a lot of these older Rockford single dens that pull good money, like this right here is a Denon single den rebrand. Anything you see that's like old Rockford with a copper chassis, you can pretty much assume it's Denon. Now some of their later stuff, if you see right here, that's the Denon radio. Here's the Rockford one. You see what I'm saying? But the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, and then later on, it was MB Court in Rockford. But yeah, I've always got a soft spot for one of these, and these have an auxiliary input, RCA left-right input, and it's like I could put that into something cool, old school. It's got a freaking copper chassis on it.
I was gonna say, is that CCA or copper?
That's copper. Yeah.
That's copper.
That's for sure copper.
Man.
That's only like $1,000 radio in the 90s. You know what I mean?
I'll take it right now.
Yeah, I'd love it. I would love to have that.
Wow.
It's just crazy the stuff that but
I'll trade anybody my Kenwood for that radio.
Yeah, and it is a nice Kenwood. I found out
Kenwoods are nice. That's what I got for my card.
I have a Kenwood too. And Joe, I found out the only difference between my radio and your radio is yours has the CD player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never use it. I don't care.
These are cool too. I really want one of these. And this is an MB Court single den. This is like one of the last Rockford ones. Like you see, like these. These were actually just an MB Court. And the funny thing on that is the punch button. The punch button was literally just the loud button on the other one. So like here we go, boom. So it's a Rockford if it's silver and stuff like that. But the punch button, it's the same radio.
Oh wow, yeah, same layout. Wow.
And it's kind of funny, man, too. Which and Rockford and MB Court, they had the same. They owned them at the time, stuff like that. MB Court made a lot of components for Rockford and stuff like that. And the only reason I bring that up is I think it's comedical almost the amount of people that are like, oh, it's the same brand stuff. People are blatantly selling the same product. You're like, bro, it's been going on for decades. We just live in 2021 where you can see it.
Absolutely. That's the problem. You can see.
Because guess what? If you were at a car audio shop in the 90s and early 2000s, They're not going to be showing you that MD Cord radio and the Rockford radio on the same display. Okay,
Nope.
That's the only place you'd see it.
You'd see the Rockford at, a stereo shop, and then you see the other one at, Joe Shack shop that's like a dealer for that, whatever, cheaper. Or vice versa, whichever way, But that's the thing, man. You know almost too much, and that's a scary thing with everything going on nowadays. And then everyone can talk within split seconds. So
Yeah.
word travels. Stuck in
Not always good,
Kennesaw. Kennesaw.
There's a city close by to us.
Oh. Ah, jeez. What happened to Sparky? I thought he was coming on.
We'll see. Either way, it doesn't matter. I told him if not, if you couldn't make it, we'll just do a reschedule, which would be fine too.
Yeah.
Because we're coming up on that. We got like about 5 minutes left. We got hopefully we might get a special guest on next week. I guess you saw who said they were down. And I've got another one too that probably be reaching out to.
Yeah,
so
that'll
be
fun.
I think it'll be fun too. So what you got going on? I might play some video games live after this. You said you got an amp dyno that's gonna be coming out. So you're doing the DX amp. I don't want you to give away the numbers yet, but
yeah, I mean, I kind of did a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, the Kicker DX 400.4. It's my buddy Keenan's. I found it on Marketplace, like how we do, and it said Irwin. I'm like, oh shoot, let me see, $70, not bad. Okay, Keenan, shit. Hey, buddy, can I borrow that amp before you sell it so I can test it and then I can help you sell it? And he was like, sure. Heck yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I got the certified burst sheet in there, and then the manual. He even still has the Kicker sticker in there, so it's brand new with the box.
Why don't you? How much does he want for it?
$75.
I'll buy it. Does he have the box and the burst sheet?
Oh yeah, look.
I'll take it. Yeah, consider it sold.
Got you.
404, boom, I'll buy it. I had that amp, bro. I had that exact. I can pull it up on my Facebook, bro. I had that exact same amplifier. I had 2 channels on my front door speakers, and I had 2 channels bridged on a Polk DXi 12, and I thought I was beating the block down. And you know what though? That amp never wouldn't protect one time, not a single freaking time.
No, yeah. Only time it did anything, and I didn't put it in my video just because I ran it down really low, and it blew the fuses. I clamped 600 watts at 1.5 ohms on each channel, all channels driven.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little bit too much. It was just too much current for the fuses. So
I need to be...
Huh?
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I need to quit being lazy and send you that ZX amplifier, man, especially now that the old school meet's canceled for sure. So I'm not
gonna... dude, that's what's crazy too, because I was trying to think of where to propose and how to propose, and I was literally thinking about doing it when I went down to Kicker. I was like, what could be better than that? But then I was like, I want it to be about... Right. And then I want it to be more about us and not just, my thing with Kicker and all that other stuff. But still, it still could have worked. And then I'm like, well, that's not happening. Okay, her birthday's coming up. Let's just do that. That sounds like a good date.
I'll fuck up on that. He said he'll give you $100. I don't want more than
Ooh.
No.
Can I get one if we got $100? $100,
Well, I got an old Kicker EQ down to the garage. I'll grab that real quick. Hang on. Start an auction.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he'll probably do it. No, you probably. I bet Joe does have a rat hole. The old stereo I ain't seen yet. I bet he's got some tucked away somewhere.
I got a few things.
He's got a mountain of DV speakers in his basement down there. Like, man.
Oh, that's just brand new though.
Yeah.
Damn. Saving up for my next build.
For sure, that's what you need. They need to hold on to them.
I have a whole system sitting in there, brand new, ready for my next build.
I'm excited to see. Now you've got my mind twisted now, Andy. So because you already spilled the beans that the new solo subs are going in Kayla's car. So what's going on with Cookie Monster, buddy? Can you talk about it or no?
I can't pull out the Solo X out of there. You know what I mean?
Why mess it up if the Cookie Monster's good?
Right. That, and it's like, maybe, like others said, maybe there could be a Cookie Monster 2.0. Who knows?
Did you see
Just
that
wall
guy?
it off. Just
Dude,
wall it off.
Did you see that guy selling those? He's selling those 18s now, just like the ones you've got. There's 4 of them. 1 sold.
Really? So that wasn't a spam? Everyone was flagging
real.
that darn thing for spam, and I'm like, what? Just because it's a good price? $400 a pop?
He posted it in multiple places. I think he's somewhat legitimate.
Right. People were like, messing, oh, this guy's a spammer. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. It's just sorry, it's not $1,000 you're used to seeing on eBay.
You
know
gotta
what I
ask for
mean?
realistic stuff on those. That's what people just like the Rockford amps I was selling. You're like I sold the like a 4K. I did sell for $1,200, so they get posted for like $2,000 all the time. You're like, bro, you gotta be realistic because now people can go buy a 4,000 watt amplifier for way less than that, and it has better features than that old stuff does.
Right. It's crazy, but it's like people are selling it for nostalgia, and they know it for being nostalgic because it's the Solo X, and then they see it as being worth more. But something's only worth what someone else is going to pay,
Sure.
and and it's like it's not that much. Like, okay, yeah, brand new MSRP, what, $1,200 or something like that for the Solo X18 back in its day. But that was like way back then. Okay, so then maybe the price is a little bit higher, a little bit lower, whatever it is. Say $1,000. It's in times of change where prices have dropped to, like just like they say with the L7X, it's going to be cheaper than the old Solo X. How can that be? Because things just cost less to make. It costs less to make more power, which is, technology.
Not only that, though, the same thing, and it's 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, however you want to look at it. Those were so dealer-oriented sales at the time, especially at X, just like having a Q dealer now. Let's be realistic. Now, yes, some people did buy them at full retail price, but more times than not, if you're a guy at a stereo shop and you're doing that Solo X install and all that stuff, that guy's not going to pay full list price on that speaker, dude. I mean, like, more times than not. Now, if he's doing it where he's doing the whole kit and caboodle, that's going to get money worked around somewhere. As far as if you're going to discount the subs, going to be in the install, stuff like that. But again,
Absolutely.
that's like the guy bragging he paid 3 bands for the folk house, set up the other night. And you're like, you played yourself, bro, because like your buddy at the folk house dealer, if you tell him you want that, you're not going to pay full list price.
No, not at all. That's the thing too. Yep, you're absolutely right. But still, right, and it's like whenever I seen that $400 price, I'm like, wow, that's actually the perfect price for it.
It's perfectly realistic price for it.
Absolutely.
So he's getting $1,600 in subs on 415s or 18s or whatever on used subs compared to anything else used new. What are you going to compare it to? So
Right.
I mean, there's still a lot of money for subs.
Right. I almost picked one up like that. Guy was selling a black cone and a gray cone, $400 a piece, and I had to drive like an hour and a half to get it. Motor, cone, everything, coil looked good. Literally, as I was leaving, I texted dude, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there soon. He's like, okay, awesome. Sounds good. Oh, by the way, only the gray cones left. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't want the gray cone. It's not going to work like that. Because I was literally thinking about going 218s, and this was pre-Cookie Monster, like the big build. This was before that. So, hey, everything happens for a reason, man.
Nice.
But yeah, heck yeah, man. This was a good show. I had fun.
It was a good show. Even though we missed out on the guests, we still had our buddy Joe in. Joe, I appreciate you hopping in on last minute. I was like driving home, like, hey, Joe, you want to hop on? He's like, I'd love to, obviously, but he's welcome anytime. We'll have to get him on again and get a good conversation topic. I kind of hate that I didn't play it with a guest, but again, we'll get old Sparky redone. And it's episode 16 of Rolling Thunder, man. We made it. It's a good episode. I'm glad everyone in the chat. Shout out to 25, Deviant, 14.4, Chad, Bobby, B, all those guys, Acoustical. Oh, we got Crazy Logic in here. He's about to sell a bunch of Physical Rock for stuff. Yeah, man, how you gonna tell me that, bro? You gotta get dibs. But cool, Deviant, thank you guys. I'll probably hop on stuff. You guys got anything coming up? So we got Joe and I'll be at a show tomorrow. I'm trying to make sure we get some good video and some demo reaction videos. You got your thing going on tomorrow. I hope it goes good too, man. And I appreciate both of y'all's time.
Hey,
Anytime.
yeah, you guys be safe and bass on tomorrow. We'll all have fun.
Plenty of bass tomorrow.
Heck yeah, everyone have a fantastic night. Be safe out there. Have a good weekend. And we're going to end this one up.